Oh, yeah. So, my neurological disorder is real bad, but I've had blockages and problems that have taken me all day in my home to fix. And I remember being on that toilet all day screaming in pain, having the doctor on the line as I scream and scream in pain, and they're getting ready to call an ambulance for me. All because my nervous system won't work properly and I have a blockage. So I can't use my muscles or my nervous system to get it out now. It's just permanently stuck. Now, during anybody else, or you just take some laxatives, stool softener, but the problem is I can't feel if there's any pain. If there's any pain whatsoever, I lose the ability to use my nervous system, and that includes pooping or pushing. So if the pain gets too bad from constipation, then it causes a taser-like feeling down my back. I start shaking all over the toilet, and it's impossible to concentrate and now push out this constipation. It gets more and more stuck. Now, what happens to me when I'm living in the woods and this happens and it's cold out? Now, I had to run a heater on my stomach and do an enema, and that barely got it going. And if I get sent to the emergency room, they're just going to cut me open and remove all my intestines because I'm going to be screaming and screaming. They'll give me an enema. The enema won't work. They'll squirt out a little bit of liquid, yeah, but if I can't concentrate to get the stool out with the liquid, I just push out the enema and then the blockage just stays up there. You got to be able to use your body, every nerve cell in your body. But for 25 years, I've had problems with that. 25 fucking years I've had problems. So I have a job. I'm sober. I have an apartment. But in 7 days, I'm to vacate my apartment because I had a seizure and I'm on medical leave. Well, why would that be? Well, the doctors are going to take at least 10 years just to give me a piece of paper for work. So anytime my disability becomes an apparent at a job, I then have to wait 10 years before going back to work because the doctors would have been quicker about this. They tell me, well, if your mother wasn't such a shithead, then we would be able to help you. But we don't have any reports from childhood. We don't have your mother talking about scabs on your shins. We have her calling that self-harming. We don't have her doing this. We don't have her saying this. Instead, we have her doing this and this. What's crazy. So all you find out is my mother's going, more meds, here's this mental illness. Oh, no. He's not bumping in the furniture, it's self-harming. Oh, no, he didn't win that swimming medal in the orphanage. No, he's a theft. He makes up fantasies and he has attachment disorder. Then she's also slipping me pills on Halloween to make me sick. Why did my mother do this? My mother had a really serious mental illness. And she really thought that she had to get her way when it came to me at all times. So when the whole family, my father said I could go out for Halloween, but my mother said no, my mother had to get her way. Slip me some drugs, I get horribly sick, start vomiting, and my nephew and my brother or whoever else is there say, oh, we're going to go out without him. And then my mom babies me because she slipped me some pills. Now, how did she slip me pills? She says, oh, Zach, before you go out trick-or-treating, you got to come over here and take your medicine. Okay, good job. Okay. And then an hour or two later, I'm puking and I'm sick. And then mom goes back, see, you're sick. You can't go out trick-or-treating now. And I have had no candy yet. I didn't really get to go to trick-or-treating until I got to Chelmsford at the age of like 12 years old. All the years before that, I had what we called, me, my friends, my nephew, I always told them it was called the curse. Every Halloween, I would suddenly get horribly sick for over 20 hours and then get better. And nobody would ever tell me why. And then it stopped at about the age of 12. It all stopped as soon as my mother stopped slipping me pills. I was old enough by 12 to remember these things. So my mother said, oh, I better stop. But the truth is, when you do horrific things to a child, he will have PTSD memories of that for life. If it's a good memory or just some passing memory, they won't remember it at age 5. But if it's a horrific memory, like slipping on a rock and tearing up your leg, you will remember it. That is why my mother remembered her childhood injury and looking for the rock and not being able to find it with the injury for her leg and the scar on her leg. She's in her 60s and she still remembers her injury from childhood. That's the way it works. Well, so I got to come up with a plan B.